Okay, so welcome to Tuesday night Hatha Vinyasa Flow. We're here every Tuesday at 7 p.m. I bring it to you live on Instagram, at least for now, until I'm able to go back to band when COVID ends. But in the meantime, you have me on Tuesdays. So tonight we're doing a grounding routine inspired by this mudra, the Prithvi mudra, which is a grounding mudra that stimulates the root chakra, helps us find our sense of security, helps us find a sense of vitality, helps us to improve our elimination process of our digestive system, helps us lower our blood pressure, helps us lower stress. And so this week, you're going to see in my routine, grounding routines that have grounding poses that make us feel connected to the earth. So come and join me on the mat. Alrighty, so if you have a blanket or a bolster, marvelous. That'll be great for you to start off in Sukhasana. I like to start all of our practices off in Sukhasana so that we can connect with our breath. So what I want you to do is sit as tall as you can and go ahead and take the Prithvi mudra. So you take your ring finger and you press it against your thumb. You extend all of your other hands. Turn your hands so your palms are facing up towards the ceiling. Inhale your shoulders up, exhale them down, lift up the crown of your head, lifting up your heart, and sit nice and tall, allowing your hips to open up. Now you have the option, if you want, to take half lotus or full lotus in this routine tonight as well. It's up to you. You can always take those if you want to. Another thing to know about this mudra is you can take this mudra in almost any position. You can take it in any seated position. So it can be in lotus, in Sukhasana. It can be sitting in a chair, or you can take it standing. But this mudra is to remind us to have a nice, tall, healthy posture. And it is recommended, and it's my challenge this week, that you take 10 minutes of stillness in this posture, in this mudra, and see how it makes you feel. So start to inhale through the nose and exhale. As you inhale, imagine the breath is beginning at the root of the spine and growing all the way to the crown of the head. And exhale, draw the breath all the way down to the root at the base of the spine. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. As you inhale and exhale, draw your attention to the root of the spine, the base of the spine, the root chakra, Muladhara. Imagine it glowing brightly red. And imagine that the gravity of the earth is drawing you down through the root chakra, tethering you to the energy of the earth. Imagine that energy at the center of the earth travels all the way up your body, all the way to the crown chakra. And as we have said, energy moves up and down our chakra system. Imagine that you are sending energy up with each inhale. And with each exhale, you are drawing energy and shooting it back down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, draw the energy up, lift up your heart center, lift up your crown. And exhale, draw it back down. Inhale, let's inhale our hands out and up. And exhale our hands out and down. Inhale. Out. I'm sorry, I have to stop for the dog. Come on, let's go. There's nobody outside. Let's go. Come on. She's normally not making all that stinking fuss, but here she is tonight making that stinking fuss, interrupting our beautiful yoga flow. Okay, so inhale our hands out and up. Exhale the hands out and down. Inhale out and up. And exhale out and down. Let's inhale our hands out and up. And then exhale, bring them down through Ajna, the third eye, through the Vishuddha, the throat chakra, and down to Anahata, the heart. Bow your head and set an intention for this practice tonight. Take a nice inhale. And then exhale. Release the hands. If you are sitting on a block or a bolster, feel free to remove it. I'm going to remove mine. And let's find our way to the top of the mat. Let's initially actually just start off in the center of the mat. I've changed my mind. Let's start off in star pose because we're going to drop into goddess. Because goddess is a pose that really reminds us that we are connected with the earth. So take a nice inhale, expand your heart center, expand the chest, expand your hands out. Both of your feet are pointed so that your toes are pointed towards the two corners of the mat if you're facing the long side of your mat. Draw your belly button in as you lift up your heart center, and then on your exhale, bend your knees, bringing your tailbone down, descending towards the earth. Now you may find you need to widen your legs if you need to, but continue to draw your knees back, draw your shoulders back, and then bring your hands into the goddess arms. You can keep your hands like this, or if you even want to, you can place them on top of your thighs, right at your hip crease. But while you're in this pose, continue to draw your heart center up and lift up the crown of your head, descending your tailbone towards the floor. This is a pose that really will elevate the heart rate because it's using a lot of muscles in the legs, using those thighs, pumping that blood. And make sure that you're drawing your shoulder blades together, drawing the crown of your head back in alignment with your spine. Take a nice inhale, exhale. Inhale, rise up into star. Exhale, bring hands to heart center and go ahead and walk your feet together. Finding your way again now at the top of the mat. Now that we've done that pose, we're going to start off with some sun salutations. Inhale our hands up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Drawing your heart center down, hands to the floor. Drop your crown. Inhale into a flat spine, drawing the crown of your head forward as you draw your shoulders back. And exhale, back down again. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, bring hands to heart center. Inhale. Exhale your hands down. Inhale your hands up, and then exhale, swan dive forward again. Dropping your crown. Inhale into a flat spine and exhale down again. Let's rise up one more time. Reverse swan dive all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale. Exhale your hands down. Inhale your hands up, and then exhale, swan dive forward. This time we're going to move into our sun salutations. Drop the crown. Inhale into a flat spine. Exhale, take your right foot back. Initially, let's drop our knee. Inhale our hands up. Inhale our heart center up, and then move our hips forward as we draw our heart center up and draw the shoulders down. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, circle the hands down. Take left foot back to join the right in plank pose and hold this for 3 breaths. 1, 2, 3. Keep your hips up in the air as you drop your knees. Bring your elbows into the ribs. Drop your chin and chest and inchworm. Inhale, moving forward into low cobra. Rise up, drawing the elbows into the ribs. Exhale down, tuck your toes. Move back through child's pose into your first downward facing dog of the day. As you move into downward facing dog, keep a nice deep bend in the knees, drawing your hips up and back, widening your collarbones, widening the shoulders. Take a nice inhale. And then on your exhale, take your right foot forward, drop your left knee. Inhale your hands up. Exhale, moving the hips forward, drawing the heart center up as you draw your shoulders down. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, circle the hands down. Tuck your knee, bring left foot to join the right. Inhale into a flat spine and exhale down. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale. Exhale your hands down. Inhale your hands up and then exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale into a flat spine. Exhale down and take your left foot back. Drop your left knee and inhale your hands up. Exhale, move your hips forward as you draw your heart center up and your shoulders down. Exhale, circle your hands down. Moving back into plank pose. Let's hold it again for 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Lower the knees. Keep the hips up high. Drop chin and chest. Inhale into low cobra. Exhale down, moving into child's pose as we rise up into downward facing dog. Take a nice breath in downward facing dog. And then exhale, push your hips back. Inhale, take your left foot forward and drop your right knee. Inhale, rise up your hands. Exhale, move your hips forward as you draw your shoulders down and lift up your heart center. Exhale, circle the hands down. Lift up your knee. Bring right foot to join your left. Inhale into a flat spine and exhale down. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Take an inhale. Exhale your hands down. Inhale your hands up and then swan dive forward. Inhale, rise into that half lift. Exhale down and take your right foot back. Inhale, rise your hands up as we are in Anjanasana, high lunge. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, circle the hands down, hands to the floor. Take your left foot back and let's take a side plank. On the right side, swiveling our feet to the left, balancing on our right hand. Start off initially with your left hand on your left hip or on your waist, and then lift it up to the ceiling. As you lift up, start to open up your heart center. Take another inhale. Exhale, circle the hands down. Lower chaturanga dandasana. Inhale into upward facing dog. And then exhale, moving back into downward facing dog. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, move your hips back in space. Inhale, bring your right foot forward into that high lunge. Inhale, rise up on Anjanasana. Exhale, bend your right leg more deeply as you lift up your arms and draw your shoulders down. Inhale. Exhale, circle the hands down. Left foot forward to join the right. Inhale into a flat spine. Exhale down. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale. Exhale the hands down. Inhale your hands up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Drop your crown. Inhale into a flat spine, drawing your shoulders away from your ears. Exhale, lower down and take your left foot back. Rise up into Anjanasana. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, circle the hands down. Move your right foot back to join the left, and then swivel your feet to the right. Balancing on your left hand. You're going to see this view from behind now. Draw your right shoulder back, lift up your hips, lift up your hand and open up your heart center. Take a nice inhale, fully exhale. One more inhale, exhale. Take right hand down to the floor, moving into plank, lower chaturanga dandasana, and inhale into upward facing dog. Exhale, moving back into downward facing dog. Take a nice inhale, and then exhale, move your hips back, draw your shoulders down your back. Inhale, bring your left foot forward, and then rise up, Anjanasana on the inhale. Exhale, draw the shoulders down, bend your left leg. Take one more inhale. Exhale, circle the hands down, right foot forward to join the left. Inhale into a flat spine. Exhale down. Inhale, rise all the way up. And then exhale, hands to heart center. So now, doing a little bit of clothing adjusting. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do a sun salutation, but we're going to include chair pose with it, okay? So take an inhale. Exhale, sit back like you're sitting in that chair. Fingertips to the ground, and then inhale, lift up your arms. Draw your belly button in as you move your weight back into your heels. Take a nice inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale into that flat spine. Exhale down. Take your right foot back and rise up into Anjanasana. Exhale. Sink your hips. Draw your hands up as you draw your shoulders down. Take a nice inhale. Exhale. Circle the hands at the heart center. Take a nice inhale. Exhale. Lower your torso to your left leg. Turn to the left and clip your right elbow on the outside of your left leg. And then draw your left shoulder back as we go into this twisted lunge. The more you push your hands together, the more you engage the core, the more you deepen the twist. Take a nice inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. Exhale, unravel that twist, rise your hands up, inhale. Exhale, circle the hands down. Moving back into plank pose, take a nice inhale. Exhale, lower chaturanga dandasana. Inhale into upward facing dog. Exhale into downward facing dog. Take a nice inhale. Fully exhale, moving your hips back, drawing your shoulders down your back, allowing space for your heart center. Take a nice inhale. Exhale. Inhale, take your right foot forward. And then rise up in Anjanasana. Inhale. Exhale, draw the shoulders down as you descend down into this. Imagine the earth drawing you down, bending that right leg more deeply. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, circle your hands down at prayer. Inhale. Exhale, fold over your right leg and twist to the right, clipping your left elbow on the outside of your right knee. Inhale. Exhale, press your hands together, engage your core and twist more deeply. Inhale. Exhale, twist. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, lower your hands to the floor. Take your right foot back to join the left. Inhale. Exhale, lower chaturanga dandasana. Inhale into upward facing dog. Exhale, rolling over the toes. Moving into downward facing dog. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, push your hips back. Draw your shoulders down. Find the best downward dog that you can make. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, bend your legs. Fully exhale. And then on your next inhale, hop up to your arms. And then stay in that crouched pose, the chair, and raise up your arms. Inhale. Exhale, draw your shoulders down, sit back, draw your belly button in, tuck your tailbone, shifting your weight back into your heels. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, rise up, and then exhale, drop your hands down. Hands at heart center. Take a moment to assess how you feel. We've done 3 pretty vigorous sun salutations. We've opened up in goddess. We've really got some blood pumping, so this is good. This is really, really good. So I want to integrate some seated chair poses because those are nice foundational poses to prepare us for future arm balances and also to continue to ground us into the earth, to build our balance, to build our strength in our legs. So standing in nice tall Tadasana. Draw your heart center up as you draw your crown up to the ceiling. Draw the belly button in, turn your hands forward, wrapping your shoulder blades onto your spine. Inhale your hands up. Exhale your hands down. Take your right leg, bend the knee, and cross your ankle over your left knee. Okay, I just momentarily lost my balance. So to keep our balance in this, we need to lift up and out. So we don't want to sink into that left hip. So let's initially just focus on balancing on one leg with our right leg like this. Our legs are like a number 4. Inhale our hands up. Grow nice and tall. This is kind of like tree pose. Exhale. Inhale again. And then on your exhale, sit back into that one-legged chair. Sit all the way back as far as you can. And if you want, you don't have to have your heart center up. Mine is not. I'm focusing on the stretch. And now I'm bringing my hands to the floor. So initially, perhaps just have your foot wrapped around your left arm and you're bending deeply into the seated one-legged chair with your hands on the floor. They can also be on blocks. Another option you have is you can wrap your arms underneath your legs and take a bind and curl into it. But tonight I'm choosing the variation of my knee against my right shoulder, my foot against the outside of my left arm. And this is to prepare us actually for an arm balance that we're not going to take tonight. Take a nice inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, let's rise up with grace and control. And then exhale, release that right leg. Drop our hands. Shake it out. Now, if you want to use a chair to balance on to do this, feel free. You're still going to benefit from balancing on one leg, even if you use a wall or your bed or a chair or blocks to support you. So let's inhale our hands up. And then take our left knee, bend it, and cross it over our right ankle. Or I'm sorry, cross our right ankle over our left knee. Sorry, our left ankle over our right knee. I'm trying to get this straight. Sorry about that. Lift up and out, creating maximum space. Take a nice inhale. And then on your exhale, sit back in your one-legged chair, sitting all the way back, as far as you can sit. And then maybe bringing your hands down to the floor, whatever works for you. Or you can take that bind I showed you about, that's another option. Or you can have your hands on blocks. You can even have one hand up on a chair with one hand down on the floor. Either way, you're still creating an opening of your left hip and you're strengthening your right leg, creating balance. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, fully exhale, and then inhale, rise up. Exhale, bring hands to heart center. Drop your left leg, shake it out. Feel that, doesn't it feel great? So now what we're gonna do, because we've got another 25 minutes or so, I wanna do a lot of work in pigeon pose. Let's move back to the top of our mat and move into downward facing dog. So inhale, our hands up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Drop your heart center, drop your crown. Inhale into a flat spine. Exhale, place hands on the floor and move back into your downward facing dog. Initially, just enjoy this dog. Moving your hips back in space. Maybe your heels are touching the floor. Maybe they aren't. It doesn't matter. You can have your legs deeply bent. Just draw your hips high up to the ceiling, creating space for your heart center. Take a nice inhale. Exhale. Take another inhale. Exhale. Drop your knees to the ground. And let's briefly sit back on our heels so that we can stretch out our feet. It's always good to stretch out our feet. And then from here, we'll take rabbit. So wrap your hands around your heels, move your heart center forward, curling down, drop the crown of your head onto the floor, and then just hug against your knees as you create a tight ball. Engaging all of your core muscles. Firing up your solar plexus muscles in this pose. Take another inhale. Exhale. Rise up and out of that. Separate your heels and sit down in between your feet, keeping your knees together in hero pose. And in hero, take a little bit of time again to massage your feet. Maybe squeeze your heels, massage the arches of your feet, press down on all of your toe beans. There you go. And just massage it all out. Maybe you want to massage your shins while you're here. Maybe you need to move out the flesh a little bit to create more room. If you find it difficult to have your sits bones all the way down on the mat, you can rise up and place something underneath them, but this is a nice, good pose for deep knee bending. This is very good for our knees. And we've already started doing hip opening, so it's going to make our pigeon sequence really, really nice tonight. So I'm looking forward to that. Okay, so let's move forward. Place our hands on the mat, tuck our toes, and let's move back briefly into Navasana. So keep your feet nice and wide. Place your hands together, lift up the heart center. So if you find it difficult to have your heels on the ground, you can lift them up if you want. It's an option. This is really intended to be a hip opener. So if having your heels lifted helps, excellent. If you want to, you can place them on a blanket. That's another option. You can also place something underneath your bottom if it's hard to have your bottom descending down on the floor. So Navasana is a really wonderful grounding pose. Just imagine the root of your spine, your tailbone, drawing down to the earth, tethering you to the earth, keeping you absolutely stable. And this is a wonderful pose to prepare us to go into crow and other poses. So if you'd like to join me, I'm going to take crow now. So to go into crow, move your arms all the way down so that your upper arms are close to your knees. Place your hands out in front of you, and then just move forward. So move your weight forward, and then when you feel ready, lift your feet off the floor. You can start off with one, you can do both, and then hug your arms with your legs. You can place the soles of your feet together, which will further engage your core muscles and keep you strongly in this pose. And then you can release out and back down. So doing arm balancing poses brings us confidence. And even if this is the only one you do, it's still an arm balance. It's still making you very strong. Lots of muscles engaged in that pose. So take a nice inhale. Exhale. Take another inhale. Exhale. Place your hands on the floor. Go ahead and sit down. And let's take deer pose to start, because we're going to use deer as our entree into our sequence with the pigeon poses. So make your left foot kind of parallel with the mat in front of you. Take your right shin, parallel with the mat behind you. And then make your right thigh parallel. So you're sitting up, basically, all of your weight is on your left hip. Your left sits bone is in contact with the floor, but not the right sits bone. As you sit up nice and tall, you're basically opening up the front of your right hip. Just enjoy that sensation. You might feel strengthening of the muscles just above your crest of your hip on your back. And you'll feel a kind of a downward rotation, an internal downward rotation of your right leg. So you're twisting this hip in slightly a different way, while your left hip is opening up. And you can use this as an opportunity to even further open up that knee if you want to. And then if you want, we can even lay down across that right leg to feel a little bit of an opening of the inside of your right thigh. So this is kind of a satisfying thing. And I think I'll have deer pose in my routine on Wednesday morning. So inhale, rise up. And then I'm going to have you take an inhale, rise your heart center up, and then on your exhale, lower down your right sits bone and allow your left knee to come up. So when you do that, you'll feel even a greater rotation of the inside of that right thigh. And that's okay, we're intentionally doing that. And then inhale, lift up, move your weight onto your left side, stretching out that right hip again by lifting up your right sits bone. And then on your exhale, bring that sits bone back down and allow that left hip to come up. Inhale, bring the right hip forward, lifting the sits bone off the floor. And then on your exhale, bring your right sits bone down as you allow your left leg to rise up. Now, keeping this openness of our legs, let's move into our first pigeon pose of the day. So continue to have your front shin parallel with the mat and just move forward and bring your right foot behind you. So however much you're able to open up the right, great. Now what I want to do to start is I don't want you to rest in this pose. I want you to keep your hips elevated off of the floor. So you'll notice I've got a good 6 inches between my left sits bone and the floor. That's intentional. And then what I want you to do is draw your left knee forward as you draw your left knee back as you draw your right knee forward. I'm thinking all backwards today. And then if you're able to, raise up your hands, really strengthening yourself in this pose, creating all of the strength in your lower pelvis by drawing your legs back together isometrically, turning them. One more inhale, exhale, lower your hands down, and then go ahead and move your right leg back. And let's just raise up our heart center, continuing to open out that right hip, the front of the right hip. Take a nice inhale. And then on your exhale, lay across your left leg. And lay down on your mat. So you can have your hands way out in front, if that feels good and your shoulders are open and allow for that. Or you can get just as beneficial a stretch by bringing your elbows out to the side, placing your forehead on top of your hands, and allowing your heart center to sit on top of your shin, drawing it further down to the floor. Now, while you are laying here, if you want to increase the strength of this stretch, make it more effective, draw your left hip back as you draw your right hip forward. Or imagine that somebody is pushing your two hips, the outsides together. That concentric pressure, strengthening by drawing inward, really creates stability. Take a nice inhale. Fully exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, rise up. And I'm going to invite you to thread the needle, or you can stay the way you are. So extend your left arm out to the front. Wrap your right arm underneath, and now twist to the left. And you can place your two hands together like in prayer. And this really will increase the stretch along this left hip. Hold that for a couple of breaths. And then on your next inhale, if you want to, reach back and grab your left foot. Bend your right leg. So I said bend your left foot again. I mean grab your right foot with your left hand and draw your right foot towards your right buttock, stretching out your right quadricep and more deeply stretching out your left hip. So this is a very intense twist. You do not have to do it if you don't want to. You can continue to lay in pigeon the way you were. Take another inhale, and then exhale, gently release that. Place your left hand on the mat, lift up your body. Take another heart opener. And then on the exhale, place your left hand in front of your left knee. Reach back and grab your right foot with your right hand and draw it again to your right hip, opening up your right shoulder while you're doing this. Take another inhale. Exhale, release that down. And then let's sit back on our left hip. Bring our right foot forward and around as we go into a seated twist. Tricky, tricky. So inhale, draw the crown of your head up. Maybe wrap your hands around your knee and draw your knee towards your left shoulder. Feeling a stretch along the outside of your right hip. So if you want to, you can place your left elbow on the outside of your right hip and twist to the right. Take another inhale. Exhale, return your body back to the front. And now we're going to go into deer pose on the other side. So have your right shin be parallel to the mat in front of you. Take your left thigh and make it parallel to the mat. So the way I'm sitting, as you can see, is this is open posture. And now I'm completely sitting on my right hip and I'm opening up my left hip. Need to adjust my pants because these pants always want to kind of move down. They don't like to cooperate. So now what you feel is this downward rotation of the inside of your left thigh. Okay, so inhale, lift up, bringing that hip bone up, strengthening these muscles on the back side of the hip, on the gluteus region. Take an inhale. And then on your exhale, purposefully put your left hip down, your left sits bone down rather, and allow your right knee to come up. Inhale, lift up the left hip. And then exhale, draw that left hip down as you allow your right knee to come up. Inhale, lift up the left sits bone, lifting up the hip. And then exhale, drawing it back down. And then we're going to lift up again and move into pigeon on that side. So move your left shin so it's parallel with the front of the mat. Bring your left leg behind you. Initially, just like the other side, we're going to stay lifted. Isometrically drawing our knees together to create the stability, and then lift up our hands. Now, the first time I did this, I didn't have the strength to do this. I kept falling out of it. So if you're falling out, don't worry, just put a hand down and continue to work on that motion. You can place your hands, one foot on your leg and one on your foot to have an anchor point. Continue to draw your knees together, isometrically toning all of your pelvis muscles. Take a nice inhale, exhale, circle down, and then go ahead and move that left leg back a little bit more now, opening up that hip. Place both hands on the mat. Inhale your heart center up as you draw your shoulders down. And then exhale, lay across your right leg. Pick your arm position that works for you. I initially am starting off on my elbows. My right hip is nowhere near as open as my left hip. Never has been. It probably never will be. So I honor that. And now is the time to focus on your connection with the earth. So many parts of our body are in connection with the earth. You might find that you can deepen into this pose now that you've been laying in it for a moment. Inhale, rise up and take your left arm and thread it underneath the right if you want to, or you can continue to stay in the version of pigeon that you're in. Placing our hands together as if in prayer. This is an intense stretch all on the outside of the right hip. Continue to breathe evenly and smoothly. I don't want you to be in pain, so if you find it too painful, back out and take one of the variations that I showed you earlier. And if you want, you can bend your left knee, reach back and grab your left foot with your right hand, and continue to draw your foot towards your left buttock, stretching out the top of your quadriceps. It's a very intense stretch. Take one more inhale. Exhale, release that. Place your right hand on the mat and lift up. Go back into lifting up that heart center. Place your right hand in front of your right knee. Reach back and grab your left foot and draw it towards your left buttock, opening up that left shoulder. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, releasing that down. Sitting back on our right hip, take our left hip foot around as we go into seated twisting pose. Go ahead and hug that knee, drawing it in towards your right shoulder. Stretching out the back of this left hip. And then let's further engage in that twist by taking our right elbow on the outside of our right knee and twist to the left. Take one more inhale, exhale, circling to the front. And let's unravel our feet. And before we finish off, let's take Navasana, boat pose. So sit up nice and tall, hands parallel to the floor. Tilt your torso backwards. Bring your feet off the floor initially with our shins parallel to the floor. If you want, you can extend your legs. Take one more inhale. Exhale, lower down in Shavasana. Or lower down, laying on the floor. Stretch out, hands overhead, feet down towards the front of the mat. Take a nice inhale. And then exhale. Bring your hands out to the side. Lift up your hips and bring up your knees. Take an inhale. Exhale. Push your hips away from your body and draw your spine down to the floor. Inhale. Exhale. Take an inhale. And then exhale. Cross your left leg over your right and drop your knees to the right. Place your right hand on top of your left knee to further that twist. Take one more inhale. And then exhale. Place your right hand out to the side. Move your legs to the center. Place them together, shins parallel to the floor. Push your knees out, creating like an arm length distance from the top of your thighs to your shoulders. Draw your belly button down, draw your spine into the floor, strengthening your core here. Take a nice inhale, and then exhale. Twist your right leg over the left, and then drop your legs to the left. Placing your left hand on top of the right knee, and further stretching out your hips on the right hand side. Take a nice inhale. And then exhale, release that. Bring your feet to the center, your knees to the center. Place your right foot beside your left. Any kind of movement you need to do before we settle into Shavasana, take this opportunity. And then let's take legs up the wall for Shavasana this time. We normally just lay out flat, but you know, it feels so nice to lay against the floor. So find a wall. Did I say against the floor? I meant against the wall. I'm really having a hard time with language tonight. So find a wall. Put your legs up the wall. They can be up the wall in any fashion that you choose. I'm placing my sits bones as much against the wall as I can get them, which is right up against the wall. And I'm actually straightening out my legs because I enjoy that feeling of my legs being straight. But sometimes people choose to bend the legs against the wall. That's another option. Or you can choose to pull your hips away from the wall and have your legs kind of leaning against the wall. So you have different options available to you for this. But close your eyes and start to settle your body into the floor, allowing the floor, the earth, to connect with you and fully ground you into the earth. While you lay here, start to do a scan of the body, starting with the crown of the head, relaxing all the skin on your scalp, moving down to your forehead, smoothing out the lines of your forehead, moving to your eyebrows. Imagine energy just going along the contour of the brow and exiting over by the temples. Fully relaxing your temples and all the skin on the side of your head above your ears. And now drawing your attention to space across the bridge of your nose and your upper cheekbones, relaxing all of that skin. And then continuing to relax your lip, the rest of your cheeks, your ears, and your jawline. And then continuing to scan down, relaxing your neck, the front of your neck, the back of your neck, allowing your shoulder blades to press into the floor as your shoulders fall down, relaxing the tops of your shoulders. And then scanning further down, relaxing all of the muscles across the chest and your upper arms. And then continuing to scan down, relaxing your ribs, relaxing your solar plexus area, relaxing all of the muscles in the middle of the back, and allowing your hips to be well supported by the earth. Relax all of the muscles in the lower belly, allowing it to hollow out. Relax the forearms and the hands. And then continuing on to relax your thighs, your calves, your knees, your shins. And then ultimately arriving at our ankles and our feet, relaxing all of our toes, our arches, and the tops of our feet and our heels. As you lay here in Shavasana, focus on the root chakra again, glowing in the color of red, drawing you down to the earth, connecting you to the molten core of the center of the earth, giving you a sense of being, of connectedness, of safety, of security. There can be lots happening all around you, but at this moment in time, you are safe and secure in one spot, immovable. Consider that this is your foundation. This is where you derive your sense of safety, your sense that you have what you need, that all of your needs are met, that you want for nothing. Continue to lay here for up to 5 minutes. I want to thank you for joining me tonight on Instagram Live and on Facebook. If you enjoy this routine, I will be here every Tuesday at 7 p.m. And about once a week or every 2 weeks, I put new video content on my Facebook channel, Kathleen Coombs Yoga. Please join it so that you can be notified every time a new video hits. The light in me joins the light in you. The yogi in me honors the yogi in you. Namaste.